Let's go. Y'all know what time it is, man. It is LockerMates, man. Oh, baby, let's get it. Arthur Moats got my partner, them. Terence Garvin, a.k.a. TG. And he got the guns out today. Bro, what's up with the... All right. So I know last time me and you was chopping it up on the podcast, we was talking about our 40s. And I know we was getting at it. But now you want to come up here with the sleeveless shirt? You trying to intimidate me, bro? What's going on, man?
The 40s, the open field, just a lot of talk, a lot of talk.
This is crazy. Bro, you got your traps on, you know what I'm saying? Like you got something on your mind, bro.
I'm just getting ready. You know, that
see, that's
that
what I'm talking about.
routine,
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
absolute routine, come June, July, it's time to get fighting trim. I'm just...
Hey, you know what time it is. Hey, these are the bush
OTAs
right here. This
right
is
now,
that time.
After OTAs, you got your 6 weeks to tighten it up, and it's time to go to the war, to the Latrobe, to wherever you're going. It's time.
Hey, Hey, the Latrobe Proving Grounds. You know what it is, man.
Like Gladiator.
Hey, everybody goes, but don't everybody come back. Just remember that, man. Everybody don't make it out of there, bro.
Latrobe's like where you going pre-Gladiator, like before they went to the big dog. Like, is that are you not entertained? Like, is this not why you here?
Right. Let's get it, bro. Let's get it. But, man, speaking of OTAs, man, obviously we know minicamp is going on, and there's just a lot of storylines happening around this time of year, obviously. But a couple of names that have been popping up with a direct connection to the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. We got to talk about it. Chase Young, bro. Like, we know Chase Young, the former number 2 overall pick, former defensive rookie of the year. Very high pedigree guy. We all have seen the clip of Coach Tomlin and him bantering back and forth, and Coach T says, man, I love you. You're a great player, but I don't want to be bad enough to ever be in position to get a player like you. Well, obviously, now that we've seen the Washington Commanders decline his 5th-year option, we know what that means. That means he's available. That means, like, if you got an interest in this guy, man, pick up the phone. They're willing to listen. They're willing to have a convo with you. So, obviously, it has led to a lot of chatter back and forth in terms of, does Chase Young coming to the Steelers make sense? Is he good? What would his role be? What would it cost? So, man, I figure, man, we just start this thing out with just the simple question of, bro, if you are Omar Khan, are you interested in Chase Young?
So I think Chase Young is like a gold mine type pick. I think he's a super landmine. I think he's somebody. He's had injuries, but he had a lot of success super early in his career, trying to bounce back, trying to come back from his injuries. I think he's somebody. If you could get him for the right number, the right tight number, I think that's a star because he's still a good player. He's still big. He's still big. He's still fast. He's like, you gotta. Let's see how that injury come back from. But I think it's a pick that you can trade for it and get something like a 3rd round, a third, something like that. Maybe like a tight end give that up and bring that in. That's a weapon. That's a weapon. Across from like a TJ, that'd be a nice little pickup. Yeah. I like him.
Now you bring up a great point, man. But my question though is this, man, because you said across from TJ.
Okay.
We got a dude that got 14 and a half of them things. So because that was my whole, when I think of it, I'm like, I love the move if we pick him up for the right price. And we'll get to the numbers. Because I'm like, man, he's a heck of a player when healthy. We know he has the high pedigree, and he has the one thing that you can't coach or teach. He's big and fast and athletic. When you got that, that's the difference between first rounders and late rounders. The dudes that look like freaks, and he's one of those guys. But the Alex Highsmith element, we know he's a guy that's supposed to be getting paid this offseason. He's done everything as a 3rd rounder to put himself in position to be in line for a nice payday. And it's like, dang, you get to this point, and now we're going to be like, hey, Chase Young, man, we're going to holler at you.
I think it's that pressure, though. Let's get this deal.
It's major pressure.
Let's get this deal done faster and slower. Like, what we offer you, you might want to take. And it's like, if you don't take that, like, we can take this and make a move with it.
Yeah.
I think.
Because if you bring in a Chase Young, that does speak volumes in terms of the money that they're going to be willing or not willing to pay Alex Highsmith. Because if Chase Young is on your roster, you're willing to wait. I wouldn't pay Highsmith if I could see Chase go potentially to double digits and look like it's pre-injury form, then it's like, yeah, you're 24 years old, man. We know what that could be. Like, I'd much rather spend the money on that if it can go ahead and be what it's
You got to
supposed to
think
be.
it was like Chase Young was arguments like this is the best player in the draft. This is
Yeah,
everything in the draft.
seriously.
Like it was that was like
Yeah.
a world changer, you know. So it's kind of like
And he did
he
that first
did.
year. That
He was
first
he
year,
was
he
doing
did live
scary
up
stuff. He
to it.
picked that fumble up and got missing.
Yeah.
Like he
Seriously, got out
he
there.
looked like the
Absolutely.
predator. So it's kind of like I think it's one of them like what have you done for me lately? It seemed like you fall out of love with it, but
Yeah.
never forget who it is. You know. It's
Yeah.
similar to the
Yeah. Very
Odells
true.
out here in the world. These people that's kind of like you haven't seen it
Yeah.
like super shine in a minute, but
So you kind of
you
forget.
forget, but
Yep.
it's still that.
It's still a
Yeah,
Lambo. It's still a Porsche. It's still a Rari. That thing
yeah.
still it got that
It's
pack
just
on
a
it.
20.
Yeah.
It's a
Absolutely, man.
2018. You want the 2022. It's a 2018. You like
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
But the AT still
It
get
get
active though,
active.
bro.
It don't have a lot of
That
miles.
AT get
The
active, bro.
miles is down. It was in the
That AT to
shop.
get
It's
active,
ready to
bro.
run. I like it.
He said, "Yo, I done got fresh paint on me, bro. Like, let me holler at it one
I
time,
like
man."
it.
Yeah.
If they make the move, they grab a Chase and then they grab an Isaiah Simmons. Ooh,
All right. So
ooh.
you just go slide Isaiah in there like
You
that.
you
You just go put
you know
Isaiah in
I
there
love
like that.
Isaiah though.
I peep what
You
you
know I
just
love
did.
Isaiah though. You know I love Isaiah.
Time out. So real question, what position he play? Because he just said that they playing him at DB this offseason right
Yeah,
now, bruh.
the Mac,
So where you
the
playing
Mac,
him at?
the
The
Mac.
back facts.
Yeah.
When I saw him say that the Cardinals have been playing him at safety and at defensive back, I said, yeah, they about to move you,
Man,
bro. When they start doing all this type of stuff, they
they're
just
about to
trying to
ship it.
figure out what can I do if we don't trade him, what
What's
can
the
I do
best
with him?
value I can get for
Yeah,
this? But
yep, that's definitely what that
I
is,
think if
bro.
you can get that for a nice low, that's a Terrell Edmonds type potential. I don't want to call it
It
just an
is.
upgrade, but I think it's in
Yeah,
that Terrell Edmonds realm that it can do
yeah,
everything you lose in that. If you want to do the big safety, it can do that. Little stuff
yeah.
that people don't see, that goal line package when he motion out.
No,
Yeah,
that's
he's
major.
to the
And think
corner.
about it. We've seen Edmonds make plays. We've seen Edmonds make plays in the end
Yeah,
zone, in the pass game, and in the run game in that red
yeah,
zone package you're talking about. And when we go three safeties,
yeah.
because essentially he becomes that pseudo extra linebacker.
In the new world
Absolutely,
of the
man.
spread offenses, the Mahomes and all that, this three safety system is growing a lot because you get more DBs,
Oh
but you
yeah,
can still
yeah,
fit the run with it.
yeah. But you
You
could
can
play
still fit
hit,
the run
yeah,
with it.
because you got to be able to fit the
Yeah,
run, and a safety fits the run way better than a
but
nickel, 9 times
but
out of 10.
think about it.
Absolutely.
Essentially, you could pull a D lineman off the field, and you could say, I think this safety
Yeah,
player is better than this D lineman player to fit this run.
yeah.
You know, so it's like
I'm
you're
with
hitting
you.
it from
And think about it, if it's Isaiah Simmons, and if it's Isaiah Simmons, you still don't even hate the fact that if you got caught on play action, just having them
yeah,
just go.
bro.
Like, man, you
Finish it.
athletic, you can still get after it a little bit.
Just
Yeah, absolutely,
big
man.
athletes. No matter what, we always say like big
Yeah,
athletes. That's the in style. So it's like if you could grab those
yeah,
two, that'd be nice. That'd be
yeah.
nice.
But they both cost though. I
What
feel like
do they
Chase Young
cost?
costs more than
I'd
Isaiah
agree.
Simmons. I feel like Chase gonna cost more. I feel like Chase, but this is the thing though with Chase. I think you could do player draft combo and get a
Yeah,
Chase. When we talked about, do you move an extra tight end one of there? Do you package one of these tight ends that
yeah,
we have? Do you package one of these guards that
yeah.
we have? You know what I mean? And use that with a draft pick to get a Chase Young. To me, I love that element, and I think he's a $11 million cap hit. Obviously, we would negotiate to see how much of that we take, but even if we're taking all 11 for a player of Chase Young's
Yeah, I think it's a
caliber,
stiff.
man, I'm doing it. I'm not
Yeah,
tripping on
I
that.
think it's a
Absolutely.
stiff.
Absolutely.
I think it's a stiff.
Yeah. Now, Isaiah Simmons, I think Simmons you get it for cheap. I think Simmons I get him for
Third
a
round,
fifth.
not fifth. Fourth
Honestly,
round,
I
fourth
don't. I
round.
don't see it being a third, bro, because it ain't
But I
productive
think they
enough. It's
still
not.
gotta be stingy with it.
It's
It's still Isaiah Simmons.
they're stingy. They could be stingy with it,
Yeah.
yes, but it's. I don't feel like the production has been enough where they legitimately can get away with that.
You
If that
think a
makes
fifth
sense.
rounder? So they're giving it away.
If you're
Yeah.
outside, what are you willing to offer for it?
Man, I mean, I'm with you. I give you a fifth. Let me see if I can steal it from
You
you.
see what I'm saying? Like,
If I'm them, I'm trying to
I'm
steal
gonna
a
give you the
fourth from you.
fifth.
I'm trying to steal a fourth from you.
Right. The best I'm giving you is a fourth, and it's not if I'm early in the fourth. I need to feel like I'm gonna be, one of these middle fourths. I don't want to give you no first in the
Yeah,
fourth.
I'm
Like,
with
nah.
you.
I want this thing, the further back I can get it close to that fifth, I give you that, man, because he is athletic as heck,
I'm with you.
yes. But it's been 3 seasons, and we, at least with Chase Young, he got a defensive rookie of the year. He got, almost a double-digit season. So it's like we saw him make impact splash. We've seen him be actually a productive player. With Simmons, it's been a lot of, well, the scheme, man, they're using him wrong. God, they're putting him in a bad place. A lot of justification for why he hasn't been productive, but we just haven't
It just
seen
didn't work with
what
you
we saw with
though.
him coming out of
You know
Clemson.
how them first rounders
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Them first rounders, it might just
I'm
didn't
with you
work
though.
for you.
I'm with you.
I
Yeah.
might can make it work.
But what I'm saying is this though. Even with that mindset, I'm not gonna tell you that I think I should give you a third because you don't know how to use them.
No, I'm gonna
No,
give you a fifth.
I ain't
I
going
get you.
there.
But I'm
I'm like, bro, you ain't know what you was doing, but instead of you just cutting them and getting nothing, here, take this
But it's
5.
crazy.
I low key want you for a 6, but take this 5 because he athletic.
But it's almost like to do that, you gotta in there like say, I'm gonna give you a 7 and catch a fifth. You know how it is? Because if you say a fifth, it's gonna come into a third.
If you say a fifth, they want a 4 for a third.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. You got to start with a 7. 7 is on the phone call. Like, yo, I heard you ain't pick his option up. You know he ain't had a 100 tackle season, bro. I give you a 7 for him. And they like, hold on, bro. Man, this pedigree, this first. All right, bro. Hold on, man. All right. What if I give you 7 and my 89th person on the roster? No, I don't want that combo, man.
Give me a fifth for it.
All right, let me get to a 6 there. Yeah. Facts.
I'm with you.
Facts. All right. So if you had to pick though between the two, if you could only get one, Chase Young or Isaiah Simmons on the Steelers next season, which one you going with?
I mean, I love Isaiah. I'm an Isaiah guy. I
my God.
I think you go with Chase.
Well, I know you was going to say that. I knew you was.
Personally, I love Isaiah.
No. See, I don't even like the way you said that because
Isaiah.
you made it sound like he was the second option. I don't even like how you said that right there. He's like, I love Simmons, but you go with Chase. I don't like how you said the but. It should be, it's Chase Young, and then it's Chase Young. Oh, and if I can't get Chase Young, all right, then I'm going to go ahead and call Isaiah Simmons up. What we talking about, man? Hey, man. First off, I think of the impact of the position. Pass rusher, man, that's the number 2 highest paid position behind quarterback. You go pay that pass rusher. All right? So I need that. I'm rolling with that,
man.
I
think as the Steelers, you leverage it that I have that, I have that.
You do, though. Technically, you do.
I'm comfortable.
With TJ, with Highsmith, even with Marcus Golden, you got a ton of guys in there already.
I'm extremely comfortable there. But I would like that, I think you can leverage it like that.
Facts.
But I don't know. I'm an Isaiah guy. I like Isaiah. Isaiah's my guy.
Bro, he big athlete, bro. He's the bigger safety. He's just like a bigger safety.
If I'm playing the fantasy draft, that's who I go get first. Like that's my Madden guy. I'm an Isaiah guy. Like,
why are you like this, bro? Why are you like this, man? I personally love
Isaiah. Like, I liked it coming out. I don't know how physical it is, but I think the culture will make it physical. I think the culture will grow the physicality.
Oh, Lord, you hoping and wishing over here. He said, the physicality just going to magically appear, bro. Just put him in black and go ahead and get physical.
You can't not be physical up here. I've seen Witherspoon get physical. Like, I think it'll make you physical. Come on now. I think it'll make you physical. I think he got every other trait. Like,
why you say it like that? I see
Witherspoon to get physical. And come on.
I know that you know that I know, man. But
I've seen dudes that's not physical at all get physical up here. Like Pat P's gonna P's gonna stick his face back in the fan.
Pat P is going to put his face in the fan. Joe Hader was putting that face in the fan. Facts, bro. Talk about I lift weights.
I lift weights. Yeah, you gotta be a little bit physical.
You know what we on over here, bro. You know what we on.
So it's like, come on. I think it fits perfect. Like, I think the culture makes him physical. He's big, fast, can run, smart. He was in that Clemson defense where he know how to disguise. Ooh. I like him. You know about
you already know Coach T. Yeah, and Coach T loved that Clemson defense too. I mean, he wanted the younger, smaller version of it in Trent Simpson when that was coming out. Yeah. He wanted the same version, just the miniature size of it. So, to me, I think Simmons is more likely, but I want Chase Young because I feel like a pass rusher affects the game way more than, the off-ball linebacker. I just think that for Chase, man, you go out there and get 2 of them sacks. One of them is a forced fumble. Like, that's splash. We know how that feels. Whereas for that inside linebacker, he can go out there and get a 12 piece. It still ain't gonna feel the same as that edge rusher getting them 2 sacks in that strip. You know what I mean? So that's my only thing with it. But I do feel like if it's gonna be one of the two, I do think it's Simmons, because I think he's just gonna be a lot cheaper and a little bit easier to get off of him. Whereas Washington, they still gonna be playing that game of, all right, what if he does step out of this thing? What if he does get back to what he thought he could be? And I don't think they're gonna want to just give that up
Man,
right
I
away.
think the thing is you got to also remember, like, I'm with you, but you still had
Yeah.
that, and you still just
Yeah,
drafted
I'm
potentially
with it.
that. I think
You're
you gotta
right.
you
You're
gotta
right.
remember, like,
You're
the
absolutely right.
position of need for the
Yeah.
last few years, whatever you call it, no matter what you say, they've been looking for that
Yeah.
athletic linebacker,
The
the
Shazier.
Shazier.
Yeah.
It's like that girlfriend that you had. Something happened. You're like, I just want that back, and
Yeah.
you can't get that back. But
Yeah.
this is a very similar to that. Like, if it was your chance to go get that, because I know, like, even Hanley in the draft, that was a that type. Like,
Yeah.
this is a that.
Well, shoot, we saw them do it with William Jackson. Remember, they went back and came back to get
Hmm.
that because they thought that was that when it first
Yeah.
came out. So yeah,
So
we've
you know
seen it
how it goes.
definitely, absolutely.
It's been a
Yeah,
couple that come out, the Will
yeah,
Gays of the world, a couple in the last few years. I think this was one of them. I think if you get a chance to get that, so when you
yeah,
say, like, which one's more like which one you rather have, I think this one fits a little bit of, like, that hole in the heart that
yeah.
you like. I'm looking for that. You know,
Nah,
yeah.
respect,
Come
respect,
on,
respect.
come on.
Aye,
You
aye,
know,
aye,
you
aye,
know, you
aye.
know.
I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm with it. I'm
Yeah.
with it. Now
It's
we're gonna transition off of this thing real quick, all
okay.
right? Because now that we talking about these here potential moving and shaking pieces, Chase Young's, Isaiah Simmons. Lord, 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 it got me thinking about another guy that could potentially be looking for a new location.
Okay.
Talking about this receiver that plays in Buffalo, baby.
Okay.
You know, one time for dog
Ooh,
Diggs.
big. What's
So how
up?
you
What's
feel? I
going
mean,
on?
so
It's
so
bad and
so let's talk about it. Let's talk
it's
about
bad in
it.
the house. The
So
last thing
so
we seen was an
so let's
argument.
break it down. Let's break down the
Okay.
scenario. Break down the scenario. So mandatory minicamp started
Yes.
yesterday. Stefon Diggs was there for the first day of mandatory
Okay.
minicamp.
Okay.
Second day, he does not show up.
Okay.
So now we have the headlines, and then Sean McDermott, the head coach of the
Uh-huh.
Bills, obviously comes on afterwards and simply says he is very concerned at the fact that Diggs is in their practice.
Okay.
So that sent off the fire alarms and everything like that. Josh Allen came and he basically said that he's gonna support this dude. He loves him. That's his brother. But yeah, there's some stuff internally that they all working through. But he's like, he can always support this guy regardless, and that's where he stands with
What's
it.
going on? That sounds
So
like some beef. What's
yeah,
going
so then to give you more context, a lot of times we know when guys don't show up for practice, man, whether it's mini camp, OTAs, voluntary or mandatory, it's usually money
contract? Yeah.
related, contract
Yeah.
related. That's not the case here because he just got the massive deal a year
Yeah.
ago. So it's not money related. So yeah, the direction that it does point to is that it is an internal issue. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. You know what I mean? Just how you feel about it before I drop how I feel about the situation one time.
I think he'll be back because with his 3 practices, he'll be back by the third one. I
Yeah,
think he'll pull up tomorrow.
for
I think
sure.
they'll kill the drama. I'm
Yeah,
not sure what's going on. That sounds like I don't know what that could be. I don't
yeah,
know what that could be,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
don't know. What's going on in
It's crazy,
Buffalo?
right?
What's going on?
So the way I look at it is like this, man. I think of it like this. Number one, Diggs, ultimate competitor, gives me AB, not in terms of the bad AB stuff, but I'm talking about just how competitive AB is, his will to win. We all remember seeing him, get upset at times on the
Oh,
sideline, but it's because he wanted to be the guy. You know what I mean? He's that passionate, he's that
yeah.
invested. So Diggs is very similar in that capacity.
But
But at
it's
the same
June.
time, I do feel like
It's June.
no, but check it out. Let me
I'm
let me
with
talk to
you.
you. Let
I'm
me talk
with
to you.
you.
So, but this is the situation though. A lot of the tension that you would see or that people did
Yeah.
see wasn't a Josh Allen and Diggs element. It's because of the new coordinator situation
Okay.
and just the difference of a Brian Dable and how he would do certain things to feed Diggs, whereas with Dorsey, it wasn't the same level of cohesiveness, and that's part of even right now, why he's kind of under fire in terms of Dorsey. Just like, yo, we need you to do this, we need you to adjust this part of how we run in this offense because of him just being the newer version of it. So I do think that has been a part of the tension. But man, you know how these receivers are at the same time too, man. Like, man, you could be number one in the offense, you could be number one in scoring and all these other things, which if you look back on that Bills offense this season, they still were elite in all those categories. But like you said, man, with receivers, man, you just never know what they what they dealing with personally or how they might be viewing the situation, and everybody kind of reacts differently. So with this, I mean, I was a little bit surprised, man, to see him, like I said, there yesterday, but not there for the second portion of it. That was a little bit surprising, man, but we'll see what that third day looks like. And I mean, it was good to at least have everybody giving positive responses to him, though. If you think about McDermott, head coach, he didn't come out here and, talk crazy about him. Josh Allen didn't come out there and talk crazy, which we have seen. I mean, we think about the L. Bell situation here, and it was guys that kind of took little subtle shots at him, even though some of it was some of it was joking. Some of the other stuff, it was like, bro, you still don't say that while this dude is going through what he's going through. But I don't feel like it's to that level just yet.
I think it's a way different beef too. You got to think we knew what that was. That was clear cut money. Like money, we understand. You can't never speak on somebody's money in a sense. But it's like this ain't money. This is like some type of something potentially
like personal. Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll squash that beef and kind of get to the off season and let that 6 weeks go, and we'll see what happens in August. I'm sure they'll squash that.
Well, because I was gonna say, if not, right, in terms of replacing Diggs' production, obviously that puts an onus on you bringing in a guy like DeAndre Hopkins, right? Or puts you even in more of a let me go trade for something right now mode. But when I think of Diggs, I'm just like, I don't even see how that works out in terms of where you sending it because of the cap situation, the contract situation. I'm like, bro, you just signed that a year ago.
No,
like,
you're married then.
That'd have been like when we shipped AB off for the 20, and it's like, yo, he's gonna eat 20 for nothing.
You're married.
Like,
you're married than that.
Yeah,
you're for sure married than that.
Yeah, I'm like, you're not going anywhere right now.
You're married to that. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
Facts.
Figure it out.
Big facts, bro.
We'll figure it out.
No.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I said that was one of the ones though,
we
man.
Just played that.
I was just like, it was definitely a little weird to me though, bro. Because like you said, it's usually money. It's usually clear cut. All right, this is the money part. Like, it's easy. But this, it's like, man, what is this about, bro?
Man, we just paid that. We can't do nothing crazy. We just paid that.
Seriously, man. Seriously, dude. No. All right. Now, because what we have been doing, man, when we started recording these LockerMates, not only do we talk about current stuff or talk about Steelers stuff, which we always going to keep rolling with, but we also like to give, whether it be a personal story or talk about a little bit, non-heavy X and O's topic, man, to just get a little dialogue going. So I figured, Mr. DC, even though you got your cutoff sleeves, like you still playing, like I legit remember you looking just like that. You still cut it yourself too. Just know I know you still. You say you try. My dog TG, bro. Hey. Just know that I know. I respect your hustle, though, bro. I respect your hustle. Yeah. I respect your hustle, baby. Just know that, all right? But I did want to just, go down a little bit of that, mindset process, man. When we talk about transitioning out, right? Because obviously we're both multiple years removed from our last time playing in the NFL, taking those last steps, right? So I just wanted to know from you, man. I was going to talk about myself as well, but just like, when did you know that, man, this was potentially going to be it? Whether it was a feeling that you felt yourself, or was it like you getting forced? Because like I said, it definitely could be a forced thing, man. And at the same time, it don't got to be man, I'm all the way retired. No, it could still be like, bro, I still got key training. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's why I want to talk. Like, yeah.
But from the league, you got to think. So I went to Miami in my last year. I was on the Dolphins. I'm doing all right. They drafted Jerome Baker. They ended up letting me go. Shout out Baker. Baker is a good player. I ended up leaving there. I went to San Fran, and I was in San Fran. I was doing pretty well, and I was in that whole tragedy, like when Garoppolo got hurt, when Sherm. I remember. So what happened was Sherm traveled on the trip, and they were like, Sherm's not going to make the game. So we got to bring in that practice squad player up to fill that corner spot. We're not going to let Sherm go. You're the new guy in. We're going to let you get back. We'll bring you back later. All the stuff happened. People got hurt, So I ended up doing that AAF. I did that XFL. I did pretty well in those leagues. I did pretty well. And then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, everything shut down for that little year. Like, there was a lot going on. And that kind of shut it down for me in a sense, It's like, I think I always said that XFL was around. If it would have finished up that year, I think I might have still been about to finish up. But it's like.
Yeah. Because I remember that was the one where the first year was when it stopped midway through.
The AAF.
No, that was the AAF. Yeah. That was AAF that stopped midway through.
That shut down. And then the XFL was rocking, and then the COVID hit.
Yeah.
You see it, and then it was like, all right, these not working. Let's rock.
Yeah, it's getting crazy.
Let's keep on keeping on.
Nah,
let's keep on keeping on.
I didn't feel what you're saying, man.
So,
Shoot, man, for me, like you said, it was a little bit different, right? So, obviously, man, me being able to get the nicer contract, man, when I was in Pittsburgh,
big fish.
It changed my mindset.
Stop
it, bro. Big fish. Stop it, bro. Stop
big
it.
Fish.
I was middle class. I was middle class fish, all right? I was a middle class employee, a middle class citizen for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was just right in that middle tier, okay? Big fish is Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown. That's big fish. I was middle class, all right? Let me hold it down for the middle people, all right? I'm not big time. But for me, man, it was one of those things, like, I remember by the time year 7 hit, and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I got the contract, I made the money, like, it's the most money I've ever seen, like, and I felt good. And I legit started having them thoughts of, like, man, I love playing on Sundays, but I was starting to not love all the other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the working out all the time, man, the film study all the time, the sacrificing, just being away. Like, it was really starting to bug me. And I don't know why it was happening that year, though, bro. But literally, man, I remember it was probably June. Yeah, it was June, man. I'm out. You remember Frenchie, Will Allen? Man, me and him sitting there at dinner, we just rapping. And I'm like, bro, I think I want to retire. And I remember he had just retired. Yeah, he had just retired. He's like, bro. He say, man, you don't want to do that just yet. And I'm like, what you talking about, man? Like, bro, I'm out, bro. Like, I'm good. Like, yeah, they can have this, man. Like, he was like, bro, you see what you still got on your contract? He's like, yo, they not telling you they want to cut you. They tell you they want to do anything different, right? I was like, no, I'm still going to play. He was like, bro, you're not going to make this type of money right now anywhere else, like, for a long, long time. He's like, bro, you still got some desire in your heart to be out there, man. You need to, you know what I'm saying, like, really, like, dig in and get your mind right. And I'm actually glad that he did say it, because hindsight 2020, I'm like, you know what? That was a great recommendation at the time. It was definitely premature on my part. But that was one of the ones when I just remember, like, in year 7 feeling like that. So then I play year 8. And that year was kind of weird because that's when we drafted TJ. But that was my first year really throughout, like, my pro career where I was not playing. Like, I was dressing still, but I was not seeing the field. Yeah, like, even my rookie year, where I was, worst case, I was going to be core 4 on special teams, and I'm your situational pass rusher. It got to the point by the time year 8 hit, Danny Smith is basically like, bro, nah, like, we going to put the young dudes out here. You the back, like, you know all this stuff, but we got the young guys out here. But then I was guaranteed to get the helmet because I was the third rusher. So I'm like, dang, bro, but I really was not playing because we stopped rotating. It was literally TJ and Bud. So that's when Debo ended up getting pissed off. And I remember, like, that whole year, man, me and Debo just kind of, like, handling it very differently. He was like, yo, I'm pissed off. Like, I ain't cool with this. And I remember for me, I'm like, bro, like, man, it ain't even that serious, man. Like, I didn't play long enough to where they want the young guy to get his opportunity, but they still willing to pay me. Like, man, I ain't tripping on it.
Let them boys spin.
But yeah, but it was definitely like a weird feeling. But that was kind of like when I was like, you know what, this gonna be my pseudo transition year. I said I want to see what this feels like, because if I was gonna really retire, like, I got to get used to not being out there. And it was weird. Like, I still wasn't okay with it, but I wasn't pissed. And that's when I felt like, all right, bro, I ain't never been okay with not being out there. Like, TG, you done seen me when, you know what I'm saying, 3 weeks in this joint and I ain't getting no playing time. And I'm over here like, nah, bro, I got an attitude. I'm hot. You know what I mean? So it's like, at that stage, for me to just be kind of cool with it, I was like, nah, man, like, all right. So then by the time I get to AZ, I definitely was checked out, bro. And then I got hurt, and that was kind of like the perfect storm. Get hurt, get the IR, and I'm like,
By
man,
your
I ain't even
time.
finna fight back.
But I
Yeah,
think
yeah, you know,
I always tell for
yeah,
the guys, I mean, it's not like blowing your candles out. Like when you blow your candles out, like it's a
yeah,
different feel. Like I think to the guys,
yeah,
like the transition and you don't blow your candles out, you're always kind of chasing that. Man, I still had this, or I still could do this, or I didn't get
yeah,
that. So it's like I think yours is like a love story. You know, running off into the
yeah.
sunset.
Well, no,
You
respect.
know,
Respect. And that's why I do say a lot of times, I'm like, man, I'm very fortunate in terms of how I exited because, bro, not even from a financial standpoint, because there's people that made way more than me or had way more success, but their exit wasn't as smooth or they
right?
weren't in control of it. I mean, shoot, we talked about Seven. I mean, think about Seven. Seven's a future first ballot Hall of Famer. And he still, he talked about it. He said he felt like, he still could be out there,
Yeah.
but the team didn't want that. They went a different direction. So that's a different feeling when you talk about how his perspective of leaving, is probably versus mine, where I legit was like, I don't want to say I was burnt
It was
out,
done.
but it was definitely flirting with that feeling of like, bro, I'm good. Like, I'd have lived the dream, man. I'd have done everything except win the Super Bowl. Like, man, I'm good.
It
I'm
was
good.
done.
And that was kind of like where I was at with it,
I'm
man.
with you. It was done with it, and it's good.
No.
That's a blessing in
Yeah.
a sense to be able to blow your candles out. So
Yeah.
I think that's
No,
I
without
think
a
that's
doubt.
the good way out in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's the thing with the league, though, bro. Like, when you talk about how it's made up and how everybody can have successful careers, but they still end very differently. Like, everybody's story is sort of unique to their self in terms of their entry, the duration part, and then on the way out of this thing, man. But the dope part for both of us is we got a chance to run them numbers up, baby, and have a lot of fun doing that
Yeah.
thing, man. So salute both of us on that, man. Absolutely,
What a
absolutely,
time! I'm just
absolutely,
trying. Big fish. Big
absolutely.
fish. You a big fish.
Man,
Big
don't
fish.
you? I'm not a big
Big
fish,
fish.
bro. I am not a
Big fish,
big
big
fish.
dog.
We got to talk about the big fish. A big fish has to be like Mike Mitch. He to me is the floor of the big fishes while we were
Okay.
there.
You was a big fish to me.
You, I was not a
You
big
was a big
fish.
fish.
Mike Mitch was the big fish, bro. I looked at Mike Mitch and I'm like, bro, you're the bottom of the
No.
guys.
Shout out.
When you talk about the
Shout out the
guys,
guys. The guys was like me,
they were the
Shamarko,
guys.
Zilla,
Yeah.
the guys. Like shout out the guys.
Hey,
Ross Ventrone, shout out the guys.
shout
Yeah.
out to Rusty
Shout out
Benson,
the
man. One time
guys.
for the
Like
culture,
we was
bro.
the guys.
Shout out to him,
Captain,
man.
Captain
Yeah.
out here holding it down, Robert Golden. Shout out the guys. Like we was the guys. Come on.
Five. Shout out
It
to
was a lot
five.
of teams in
No,
there.
no,
It
it's
was
five.
the guys.
Was five? Oh, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. If do you consider me big time and not five? Five is a multiple time team captain, second contract, all that. Like, don't do that to me now. If you gonna include Rob G in your group, you can't call me big fish. That's
You
all I'm
remember
saying.
in the locker room we had little like neighborhoods, you know? You remember how it used to go? We had neighborhoods.
You gotta be in
It
the
was like the
hood.
hood
Hey,
was
hey,
over
hey.
here, there's a
Hey.
neighborhood over there, there's
Hey.
a good community over there.
Hey, I was still holding it
Man.
down in my section, man. I was in. We never moved off that
Yeah.
block. Just no
But-
TG. The block
But
we
you
never
didn't
moved off
get
that block,
invited to
man.
nothing no more. Like you were way out there. Spence,
They said, nah, he
Yeah,
ain't
he
pulling
not
it no
pulling
more,
up.
bro. He
Sean
alright.
Spence, Vince. Even though Vince, big fish, Vince is forever a fish with us. Like, shout out
Hey,
Vince. Like,
hey,
those are the
yo,
guys.
see,
The
that's
guys.
crazy. Vince is way more of a big
Vince
fish than me. That's
Vince is
crazy.
like, even AB was with us. Like, that's one of the guys. Like,
That's me.
yeah.
Listen. When I came in 2014, I was a part of that same We Are Here. AB here. Vince
Oh,
here.
man.
I'm just right now. I was just if we talk, it's levels to it, bro. It's levels to it. It's levels. You know it's levels, man. All right. Vince ran it up. Vince hit him twice. All right. That's all I'm gonna say. Vince hit them folk 2 times. He went back to back on him. All right, I got my one piece and I had to fade away on him. All right, but yeah, Vince got him 2 times. That's all I'm saying, man. So when you hit those folk twice in the same organization, nah, man, you cannot be considered small in any
big
capacity,
fish.
bro. You are a big fish, bro. If you get them 2 times in the same organization, bro, the same one, TG, you know how that feel.
Ridiculous.
You know how hard it is to get him one
Yeah.
time. He got him
I
twice. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Jordan Danger
Yeah.
for the fifth.
Yeah, you know what
Okay.
I'm saying? Shout out to
Shout
Danger,
out
man.
to
Shout out to Danger. He's a guy. He's definitely one of the guys, man. Yo,
Hey,
that's crazy.
hey,
He said, "Nah, man, you was kind of big time, bro. No, you don't get
careful,
invited
you
no
didn't
more."
come to the cookouts. He's done with you.
I get it. But all I'm saying is, if y'all gonna claim Vince as a
Yeah.
guy, I'm a guy. That's all I'm saying. I'm a guy. Yeah. My dog,
Really.
man. But shoot, man. As always, man, these is always fun, man. I like when we do these names, man. Getting a chance to, just like I said, just show that, the versatility of these combos, because this is how it is in the locker room, baby. This is definitely how we do it. And low key, I'm telling y'all for a fact, I got pictures, man. This is how TGB dressed in the locker room too, man. I just got a shirt on, all right? But I feel 100% like I'm on my stool, you on your stool. It's 55 and 57.
LockerMates.
Yeah, the color, the colorway is the only thing that's changed, baby. But God, dog, man, God, dog.
Post
This is
workout was good.
I say, yo,
Yeah.
TG had the forehead sweat. Did you go with the big silver scissors again? Like, yo, let me
You
chop my
already
jersey.
know. You already know. It's me.
Yo,
It's me.
my dog, my dog. Let's go, bro. Let's go, man. But no, I appreciate you as always, though, man. Like I said, we're going to keep these things rolling. And appreciate each and every one of y'all, too, man, tapping in with us, man. We keep seeing y'all in the comment section. We keep seeing y'all running up them likes, man. So we really do appreciate that. And like we said, man, y'all keep rocking with us. We're going to keep giving y'all more of this LockerMates stuff, man. And, who knows, man. Maybe I have to tap out and change up the scenery, man. Get a little on location or something like that, man. All right. See where see where you never know where these LockerMates might pop up at, all right? So that's just a little, you know what I'm saying? If long as y'all keep rocking with us, we're going to keep giving y'all some of that stuff, all right? But with that being the case, man, that is going to do it for today's show, man. So we salute each and every one of y'all, man. My brother, appreciate you as always, man. And until next time, baby. Peace.